Hi, I am Jim and I was retired. I'm following up last week's video and looking at retirement views of the various generations. Recent studies say that Generation X, those born from 1965 to 1980, are the least prepared for their retirements. These are people who are roughly 46 to 58 years old today. Now, I'm a boomer. I'm in the late boomer category. I was born in 1956, but I'm now into 7 years of retirement that began when I was 59. So if these folks are unprepared for their retirements, what's going to happen with an unexpected retirement? So I'd like to share some advice for Gen Xers from a boomer. Stay tuned. Now, I talked about one of the studies that I'm going to talk about this week, the Northwestern Mutual Life, but they also issued a separate report on the state of Generation X. The Northwestern Mutual Life survey found that more than half, 55% of Gen Xers say they won't be financially prepared for retirement when the time comes. Gen Xers also reported markedly lower feelings of financial security than other age cohorts and the general population in that Northwestern Mutual Life survey. Now, another study I read about this week was the Prudential Pulse survey entitled Generation X Retirement Revised. This study also found Generation X is unready for retirement. More than a third have less than $10,000 in retirement savings. Many are planning to work much longer and don't plan to migrate in their retirements as baby boomers did. Now, among the key findings were the following. 46% don't think they have enough saved to live comfortably in retirement. Almost half expect to retire later than anticipated, particularly after the 2020 and the inflation tick up here. 40% expect to work part-time in retirement. Gen X may be less able to tap into home equity for their retirement. Baby boomers enjoyed a wonderful rocketing of real estate during their lifetimes, but Gen X didn't catch that same break. About 2/3 of the Gen Xers plan to live only in one location in retirement rather than adopt that snowbird migration of older generations. Prudential survey also found that Generation X is very unsure about Social Security. Even though the trust funds for the Social Security system may be depleted in 2033, forcing a cut in benefits, about 58% of Gen Xers say they're counting on Social Security for part of their retirement. Almost half are saving, but they don't have a plan for their retirement. More than 2/3 of the Gen Xers are also worried about inflation as they try to save for retirement. And while recession fears have faded, Gen Xers the most are worried that they will lose their jobs to the younger generations. Now, this survey also noted that a lot of the anxiety is that only 20% of Gen Xers have a pension and only 11% will rely mostly on a pension. But as a younger baby boomer, I have to tell you that most of my retirement savings, I didn't have a pension either. If you look at this study from the Congressional Research Reports, this shows that the defined benefit plans have been on a slow train downward for a long time as the contribution plans, 401ks and IRAs, have picked up. Now, I rely mostly on my 401k and IRA savings, less so on a pension because I've only had a pension in my last job. Other jobs in my career did not have pensions. It's true that Gen Xers have a hard time, but I think that's true of every generation. And I think that if you look around, you'll see some of the same scare tactics being used for Gen Xers were also used on baby boomers. In fact, I just found this article in the last few days raising the same issue with baby boomers, and I shared it on my Twitter feed. As I noted, every generation has its problems. But rather than being defined by your generation and your peers, focus on your own situation and plan for the retirement you want. Advice for Gen Xers. I've said this before. If you're in your 50s, and this is the definition of Gen Xers, as I told you, it's in the late 40s through the 50s. This is the time you should be maxing out retirement savings opportunities at work. And the more you put into those retirement savings plans at work, the less you'll take home in your paycheck and spend on today's you, so that you'll have some savings for the future you. So max out retirement savings opportunities the best you can. If you are concerned about your lifestyle creep, focus in on the budget. Budget and save, because this is the decade that counts. I was staying at a little cottage here on Fire Island this week, and here's a book that I found. 365 Ways to Live Cheap. Maybe Gen X needs to study this book. Hey, please like and subscribe to this channel if you like entertaining ideas from a DIY retiree. I will conclude with my standard warning. I am not a professional planner, and I have no initials after my name. So take these as entertaining ideas from one educated consumer to another. Always do your own due diligence and seek out a professional if you need one.